right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Global Cap FX. Today we have Cameron Levise from CamConnex Corp. What's going on, Cam?
What's up, Josh? Happy to be here, brother. Let's get to it.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and before we get into the technicals, we're going to take a quick look at the fundamentals. So go ahead and take a look at our economic calendar here on myfxbook.com. For those of you guys who are going to be watching the recording, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If you have any feedback on, anything that you'd like to see on the channel in reference to investing, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, anything that's confusing to you, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to respond back to you. So taking a quick look at this week, usually what I do is I like to filter out the news. Usually there are red, orange, and yellow folders here, but the yellow and orange ones are less impactful, okay? So I like to keep it on the red folders, just to make sure that I'm looking at the more important stuff that might cause some volatility in the market. So starting off Monday, looks like Australia has a little bit of news coming up regarding their manufacturing. So that could play a role in the GBP AUD trade that I am currently in. From a technical standpoint, it does look like it's going to be heading up. I'll get into that in a little bit. Let's see if there's anything else that is pretty important here. Obviously, home sales in the United States, the amount of houses available in the market to buy are just ridiculously low. But we just happen to keep somehow being able to build them when raw materials on building these houses are actually in short supply. So there are a couple of variables when it comes to home sales that we need to pay attention to. One of them being raw materials, two of them being the lack of supply, and then also with interest rates gradually starting to go up. We could be seeing some reduction in the desire to want to buy at the moment. So we'll keep an eye out on that. That's what day does that land on? Tuesday. Okay. All right. So Wednesday, FOMC minutes. That one's always a very interesting time to trade. You want to make sure if you're brand new to trading and you see this coming up in the news, you might want to steer clear of trading for the 15 minutes span of, let's say the news releases, right? And usually I like to tell my students to stay out of the market for 5 to 15 minutes, kind of let the market do what it's going to do, because sometimes it'll just spike up, spike down, and then eventually come back to where it originally started. And it just kind of defeats the purpose of having proper risk management when you're getting into a trade when you could be looking at some volatility that is really unknown. You don't really know which direction it could go. Obviously, we know the overall direction of the market before we get into it, but due to financial institutions doing stop loss hunting, you just never know. So that's going to be an important one. And that's really all I see that I really like to look at. I like to look at interest rate. I like to look at real estate, maybe some manufacturing, and then also inflation as well. So those are the ones that I really like to pay attention to. And then obviously the FOMC is a big one as well to be aware of. All right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go over GBP JPY really quick. I'm going to take a look at it in the weekly time frame. And when it comes to the weekly, there is a lot of liquidity taking place here over the last couple of months. As you can see, there are a lot of wicks And when you have a lot of wicks like this, that usually is a good indication that the market is losing some strength in the market and could be turning back around the other direction for a sell. Okay, so there's that. We're looking at here at the weekly. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Actually, let me go ahead and go to a different let me go to this one. There's nothing here. All right, so just taking a quick look at this, right? You can see here the last couple of weeks. Usually what I like to do is take the last 2 weekly candles and find the highest point and the lowest point for those two. And also what I see here is that there was some support here in this general area prior to these last 2 candles. And just recently we broke back above it. Last week actually wicked, came back and retested this general area right here of 161 even, I would say, just to give you a nice round number. And then price came back down. So now we're technically below what used to be a support, and now we could be looking at a potential resistance area where price could continue to make another push down. So I'm currently in a sell on this pair, and then ironically I'm in a buy on GBP AUD. You would think that naturally, because GBP is the staple for both of those pairs, the strongest of the two. So you have GBP AUD. GBP is the strongest out of that. GBP and Japanese yen, the Great British Pound, is stronger between those two. But in this scenario, you know, I have a GBP AUD making a push to the upside here. I have these points highlighted here to kind of give you an idea of the gradual shift in price. Okay, so you see the highlighted points here, and as you can see, price is gradually starting to make from, you know, initially we had a lower low between these two, and now we have a higher low in comparison to the previous. And then now we have these 2 candles right here, which in a sense is creating another candle rejection. So this blue candle right here made a nice push down, pretty strong. And then the very next candle, the black one, actually took up more than 50% of that move for the blue candle. So when I see that, I see, you know, potential rejection, you know, null and void movement for that blue candle because it was rejected by the one right after it. Okay, so I'm looking for price to at least come back up to 1.776, and then I'll be taking another look at it and observe to see if it'll actually come out of this daily bullish correction. Okay, so I am anticipating possibly 1.8 as my final target. So we'd be looking at about a 300 pip move. So we'll keep an eye on that. First take profit will be again 1.77. 1.77, what did I say? 6? Yeah, 1.776, what it was. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take a break here for a second, and I'm gonna let you guys know that my Warriors just won. So that's great. Anybody that like the Phoenix Suns, you know, Warriors in 5 next year if you guys make it to that point. But you know, the Warriors were here again after 2 years being on the drought. We're back. I digress. All right, so let's get back to the money. Let's get back to the money. Cam, do you have any pairs that you have been looking at, you know, last week, Friday, maybe coming into this week? Or are you available to talk?
Yes, my bad, brother. Just left to go. Yeah, so I'm actually in EURCAD currently. I placed that position last week.
So you're a little choppy right now.
To, capitalize on it. Here, let me wait till I get on Wi-Fi in about 2 minutes, and then I'll
Okay,
continue my, yeah.
absolutely. So I'll stay off EuroCAD then. All right.
I got you.
Let's see. All right. So another one that's obviously I've been paying attention to is gold. Gold has definitely been a friend of mine the last couple of weeks. So, we're going to talk about it today and see if we can help some of you guys make some money. Full disclosure, okay? This is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. So all this that you see on our YouTube channels are strictly entertainment. It just so happens that this entertainment allows us to make a lot of money, but it's not financial advice. So, take it how you want it. Trade at your own risk. If you see something that you like that we're sharing, again, it's really up to you on whether you want to do it, and it's at your discretion. Okay. So there's that. I'm looking at gold right now. I'm gonna go ahead and look at it on weekly first. So we've been paying attention to this for a while. We initially thought that price was going to push up right here at this candle, but it ended up actually pushing all the way down to where the previous order block took place in the monthly. So we'll go to the monthly real quick. And this would be your order block area, okay? So overall bullish, looking at a bullish movement for gold. As far as correction is concerned, looking at it in the 4-hour, there's a possibility that it might have some trouble. Might have some trouble breaking through this area of 1860. So we might start seeing a correctional movement back to the downside to give us another opportunity to get in for a long position to the upside. Now, depending on how things look when it gets to this area, obviously we're in the 4-hour time frame, and for people who like to trade in the smaller time frames, and you like to trade against the grain, if you will, a sell opportunity could be feasible in this scenario. You could look for a sell opportunity here, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are sticking to your disciplines, your trading disciplines. Whether it's you need 3 confirmations, and in order to really be confident in getting into a trade. Maybe you need price to get into a supply and demand. Maybe you need price to overextend itself, be overbought, oversold, and maybe reach a previous order block position where a previous impulse took place, such as this. It overextended here, and then eventually made a push down. So there is a possibility it could have some friction right here, but just overall looking at gold, I'm thinking long, man. It's a good time to buy in gold right now from a technical standpoint, and then also from a fundamental standpoint. There's a lot of fear in the economy right now about where people should invest their money, because everyone's currency is losing strength due to the high demand in the daily supplies that we need from day to day. That was a repetitive statement. The daily replies that we need on a day to day. Disregard me. But anyways, so there are things that are causing the dollar and even other currencies around the world to lose strength. And people want to know where they should put their money that is a safe haven. gold is one of those things, if not the thing. So, if you're looking for a place to have your money, uh, multiply in the right direction, which is up, gold is a fundamentally good sound movement that you can make an investment in and start making some profit. All right, so I think I'm going to stay away from USD CAD too, because USD CAD kind of moves alongside with EURCAD, and I'm going to let Cam address that. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at US 30. I have been back testing this for quite some time. I want to say for almost a month now, and what I see here is that last week's candle wicked off at the bottom here at this previous candle rejection right there. Okay, it wicked off right there. So we're going to pay attention to this area, and then the possibility that price might have some type of a correction before going down even further. What I see in the daily here, let's take a quick look. So what I see is price was creating a gradual ascending channel right here. Ultimately reached its high point, came down, penetrated through this trend line that I created, and then made a retest of the previous impulsive area, which was about right here. Okay, so, and then after it came back up and retested this zone, price continued down further. So I have these two lines here creating another, if you would, channel. When it comes to utilizing the trend line, I take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of the times, like I keep mentioning, the financial institutions, they really like to overextend price so that they can collect people's trades by hitting their stop losses. So when it comes to drawing trend lines, you kind of just want to be aware of that, and just realize that usually before another big move, there has to be an overextension in one direction or the other, possibly to an order block. I like to trade within order blocks, and then it'll make its move. So be wary when you're utilizing trend lines. I just wanted to give you a visualization of what I see here. So after the shift in direction, you have 1, 2, 3, okay, lower lows being set up. You have that retest of the previous area that used to be a support, is now resistance. Excuse me. Price came back down, made that lower low, and then what it did is price. What did it do again? It came back to retest. Let me just get rid of all this. It came back to retest this area. Came back and retested that area, and then pushed down, made another lower low. So now that we're here, like I mentioned before, this is a potential opportunity where price can start correcting. Right here, or possibly down here. So as you can see, price was going sideways right here, consolidating. And then what did price do? it made a nice sharp movement down to the downside. Okay, so anybody that was going on buys based off this movement right here probably had their stop loss right below these lows right here. Right below these lows right here. Or where did I? Oh yeah, right here. And came back up immediately and shot back up. So all right, so there was your initial impulse right here. There was your initial impulse. You had your your move to the upside here gradually, and then made a push down, then came back up, retested this neckline area right here, the neckline of this pin bar, and then proceeded to go up. So I'm thinking, you know, same thing could potentially happen. You know, if price doesn't respect this area, then we would potentially look for buy opportunities in this area right here. All right, Cam, you ready?
Wait 1 second.
Okay. All right. No worries. So that's what we have here. And then I want to take a quick break on this fundamental greatness and remind you guys that our course is free. So if you're on here and you're brand new to foreign exchange and you just so happen to locate you know, this channel to learn about what trading is, we have we put together an amazing online course where from A all the way to Z, we put it in a nice order for anyone to take, learn, and apply to their own trading strategies so they can hopefully start making some better profits in the market for themselves. After you're done with the course, we also have a Discord community where Cam and myself are in the group with a bunch of our students, and we're ultimately just feeding off each other. One of the biggest things that I've learned, so I've been trading for about 7 years, and when I first got in to you know, a group chat community, I was always dependent on, you know, that good trader in the group to, you know, find me a good trade, because I was all over the place at the time. I was looking at my watch list had like 30 pairs on there, so I was trying to find a trade, but in all reality, I was probably distracting myself more than helping myself. So I was always dependent on somebody to try and find me that solid trade for the week. But when you come into the Global Cap FX Discord community, that's not what the group is about. We're not here to give away signals. Yes, we're going to be sharing ideas, but our expectation of our students is to obviously have their own analysis. Show us what you think or what you perceive on where the market is going to go. And in doing that, that allows you the opportunity to, one, you know, regurgitate what you learned in the course. And then also when you speak stuff out loud, you actually learn a little bit more rather than actually just listening to it and receiving it. So when you're able to speak it out loud or type it into the group chat, you're actually improving yourself as a trader as well. So the course is free. I'm going to leave it in the description. If you haven't yet, make sure that you're liking and subscribing to this page, because you know, there's going to be a lot being released here in the next couple of months as Cam and I are looking to secure some big capital to continue to expand our businesses in order to help as many people as possible. So make sure you are staying tapped in. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give it away to Cam.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Great start to
That analysis, Josh. Great start. I'm up at the pool right now, chilling. How to get in my vibes. But yeah, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. EURCAD, but yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, bro, about gold. Gold is a great safe haven. It's somewhere where people put their money at, knowing that it's going to be, it's going to grow, right? It's going to grow. It's not going to depreciate. And it's a way to where like you're uncertain about where the market's at, stocks or whatever you're investing in. You go put your money in gold, knowing that like you're not missing out on something, right? Because some people like for crypto, right? Like crypto took a dump, right? And for some people that didn't get into crypto or haven't looking to get into crypto, they're probably like a little hesitant right now if they're not knowing about crypto space and investing space. And so, if you're ever in that space, investing in the gold is a great way to almost like take a back seat, but still be in a position to where you'll make a little bit of capital, right? So you're not like totally just missing out on investing in total. But I'm gonna go over EURCAD. I've been in EURCAD for a little bit since last Thursday. I'm gonna just go ahead and break it down from a higher time frame, and then we'll just kind of zoom in and just go ahead and show you guys kind of what I've been looking at and how I got to my overall analysis. Okay, so looking at the monthly, right? I'm looking at my key points of this of price, right? And so for me, the key points right now, because obviously price is on a strong downtrend, and so I want to see where price came from, and then I also want to see where price is potentially heading to, right? At the end of the day, we are adjusting to what the market gives us, right? We are guessing, we are assuming, and all of those come down to your analysis, right? What you see over a course of time, based upon history, based upon fundamentals, news, worldly events, and such like that. So right now I got this blue line right here, this horizontal line to show me, this top side, right? The ceiling of where price has started to come from. And then also, the floor right here, right? And I'm honestly gonna put one down here too, just for like real true teaching purposes. Actually, I'm gonna put it up here, and I'm explaining why up here and not down there in just a second. But looking at it, right? So one thing about EURCAD, I'm gonna look at solely this area right here. We'll look at this area in a second, but solely this area right here. We can see that price created higher lows, boom, 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 all the way up, right? And then we can also see that price created higher highs in this area right here, higher high, this high is higher than this high. These areas right here, this is higher than this high, and this high is higher than this high. So even though these aren't bodies, right, they technically are on a smaller time frame. When wicks are shown like this on a bigger time frame, that's just indicating that there was a strong bullish candle, and then right after that was a strong bearish candle, right? So it's just a lot of liquidity in that area, where this one has more solitude to it. But at the end of the day, it's still going in favor of our rules. So the higher highs are being created, the highest lows are being created. And then you can see at this point where it started to balance out with these last two, technically last three, right? And so now I'm looking at, okay, so since price did that, does it have that momentum to continue to the upside, or is price exhausted? And so after looking at that, let me tell you why or how I got to, following this this downtrend. So what I'm looking at now is the fact that price right here, it came out of this this trend line right here. So as I see prices respecting here, and at this point right here, price after this little bit of consolidation, instead of continuing to go up, right, price breaks through that trend line. And so what I've noticed too, and as you trade more and more and start to work with just different strategies, using indicators, things like that, that'll help you get to your overall goal of making profit, whether it's on a buy or on a sell. For this case, I can see that this is a strong key level, because what was once a point of resistance has now been a new level found of support. And another thing is too, when price does break out of a trend, right? So when price has been in a constant trend for so long, uptrend, 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 it's not gonna just totally just go right into a downtrend immediately, right? And I mean like a long downtrend, like 50 pips plus. It's not gonna just do that. It has to gradually get there. So it has to make certain movements, right? It has to create a certain algorithm to create a certain pattern, pre-pattern, to create a full pattern that's going to just stick, right? And so that's what this move is here. So once you see this move here, I like to call this move right here, when it goes back to the upside, almost like a pullback. So it takes a second, it almost like regathers itself before it makes its initial strong impulsive move to the downside. And so right here, yes, it's a great move to catch the sell, but what I've learned, over time is this is a great move to show you a sign, but not a great move to partake in a trade, right? Now it is, because we are on a monthly time frame, so this is a great move, right? You are gonna catch a great amount of pips, like I can just right, you get in right there, gets that downside, right? It's 500, 600 pips. That's beautiful, right? That's plenty. You can catch just 100 pips out of that and make great money. But what I'm trying to get you guys to understand overall is just like the education and the strategicness of what I'm seeing overall. Because for me, like, I want to get to a point where I'm consistently making like 1,000 pip moves, and letting trades play out in a long-term basis rather than getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, and things of such. So when I see that this pullback happens, now I'm starting to like, okay, now I'm gauging this area up here. So, you know, me personally, like after I see this pullback and it gets to this top side, I would love to see one more swing like it did here, but I would put in a sell, right? I'll put in a sell up here, put my stop loss like probably like up in this area up here, just in case price does want to, make a push to the upside before coming back down, right? So you can see right here, price doesn't make that strong of a push, right? You don't see any bodies get past this level of resistance, which is honestly really nice, because it doesn't do too much of a stop hunt. And for all my traders that have been trading for a while, you know what that stop hunt shit feels like. So it's nice that it really stayed underneath that point of resistance, and you kind of just could have put, your, excuse me, a nice stop loss not too far away. And then once it does make that swing, it starts to come down and trickle, then you can start moving your stop loss a little lower if you wanted to, just to lower your risk, or even possibly start to put your stop loss into profit, right? And so then once it does make this move, right, it's consolidating. And then as you can see, that price does break this trend once. Once it breaks it twice, that's a strong confirmation that it's going to go to that downtrend, that overall trend that we saw previously. And so now that we see price making this push, right, the strong impulsive move, now that's a perfect place to go ahead and get into that sell if you had missed this entry up here. Because overall, right, my thing is this, like when this price is up here, like for me, it's almost a guarantee that price is going to get down to this area right here, because that's where it previously was on that downside. But now that we see that price is going to make a full reversal and not just a retracement, I can almost guarantee that price is going to break past this area, because it has more of a downward push, more downward momentum, because it had been in the upward momentum for so long, right? So after the price makes that, that certain move, pullback, the algorithm, that pattern, once it fully plays that out and it's ready to make an adjusting trend, like it's ready to go into a whole different trend move, then you can start seeing stronger momentums. You can start seeing that price is going to break past previous lows or previous highs, because it's starting to fulfill its overall pattern move. And so now what I got for EURCAD is like, when I see that, okay, this was one level of support, right? Key level here, same thing, right? It was a key level here where price broke up to continue its uptrend, right? So once price did break here, this was my next level to where I was gonna take profit, or where I took profit, partial profits, right? And then same thing for here on a downtrend, partial profits, right? So now that was my sell move. Now I love to, ride the wave. And so when price does make a strong impulsive move and it just overexhausted, that's where I also like to make a lot of my money, is when price is overexhausted. And so now what I got is EURCAD going to the upside, right? So I see that this is a strong key level right here, strong key level right here, as well as right here. And then I'm seeing that price is reacting right off of this key level right here. And so this right here is something you want to keep into an account, because like, price can still make its way to the downside, right? I'm not saying it's gonna just go up to heaven, right? I'm not saying it's gonna go from here to here, but you know, the type of trader that I am, right? I noticed that this is a key level, and then I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to make money, knowing that price is going to have to like balance itself out, or kind of almost in a sense retrace. And so I'm making money off of its retracement and not necessarily a reversal, because a reversal is when price confirms, or a position, or yeah, price confirms that, you know, a previous high was breaking out, or a previous low was breaking out, or you can just totally see that the way price is moving, it can't go back to what the trend currently was or previously was, because it's already made so many algorithmic adjustments to where now it's going to fulfill a different trend now. And so I haven't really seen too much of that for this buy, but I'm gonna show you as we zoom in, you know, what I'm looking at for the buy. So I'm at the monthly. Now we're gonna go to the weekly, and we can kind of like dissect more of this area right here is what I'm looking at, right? And so a great you know, great potential take profit area, you know, would be somewhere like, you know, where price was at before it pushed to the upside. I would do a little lower than that, right? So I can see that price pulled back here and then shot up. People thought that I was gonna do the exact same thing, right? I was one of those people, right? I remember this months ago, beginning of the year, where price shot up, and I thought that, oh yeah, bet, like it's gonna definitely continue to the upside like it previously did here, and then it definitely didn't, right? It kept going and it kept going. So I think that this impulsive move is somewhere along the lines of what this is going to do here. It just had like a different, I wouldn't even call this a pullback. This is just continuing a downtrend, right? It's continued a downtrend. It's not no stop punting like that. It just kept going to the downside, right? And so now what I'm looking at is price to, you can see the funnel already being formed. As we zoom in, you'll see it in a better sight, but I'm seeing that it's starting to fulfill into that funnel, right? And so now going into the daily time frame, right? Now what I'm looking at is, and again, for like my new traders, you know, candles represent different time frames. So as I zoom in from the monthly, weekly to daily, each of these candles represents that of the sort. And so I always love to explain this to people because it helps you just understand so much better. Like these last two, right? That's 2 months worth of trades, right? Right. So when I go to the weekly, you know, how many weeks are in a month, right? There's 4 weeks in 1 month. So these last 4 to 8 candles make up those last 2 candles on that monthly time frame, right? And then like how many days are in a week? There's 7. So when you go to the daily time frame, you look at the last 7 and essentially, and then that's a week's worth of trades that played out, right? So like if you look over here, you see that says 16 and 24, or I'm sorry, 54. That means that, like, you know, in that time period, there's 16 hours and 54 minutes left of this candle forming, right? And so I can see that in the next 16 hours, or you would want to have a type of understanding in the next 16 hours, is it potentially possible for, if I bought right now, in the next 16 hours, will this candle form to the upside, right? That's a kind of a interesting perspective of looking at it, right? What can happen in these next few hours for this candle to form if I go ahead and place this trade right now. So right now what I'm looking at is, so this area right here, right? This is a big key level, and I'm waiting for price to really get above that and close, right? What I mean by that is for the next, so closing, right? 16 out, when 16 hours and 53 minutes is up, it's closed, right? So I want this blue bullish candle to continue up, right? Above to this area, like right there, literally right there, and then I need to close. So like 16 hours, or in about a little less than 17 hours, I needed to close right here. And if it wants to retest a little bit, fine, but that gives me a good enough confirmation. Like I said, I'm already in this trade for a buy, and so I'm just going to be up more money. And so now when I look at it on the 4-hour time frame, right, we can really get into this, like just breaking down these higher highs, higher lows situation, right? So as you can see, price, you know, this is where the lowest where price was at. I mean, like in this instant, right? Because we can go back to that monthly, and you can see that price obviously was like way lower, like over here, right? But we're just solely talking about where price is at right here. Excuse me. So going back to the 4-hour, we can see that price, you know, bottomed out right here, and then you can see a strong bullish engulfing candle. So that candle totally engulfed the previous bearish candle, and then it went up to this point of resistance right here, same right here, and you can see like this was in a perfect time to sell. Like price came up here, sold off, had like a nice little tweezer top formation, and then price simply reacted off that same area, right, and then totally just dropped off. And so now what I'm looking at is this momentum push right here, I want that same thing, and I want price to get up to this area that it did before, because the fact is, or not the fact is, but what I'm seeing is the fact that like price was at this this low level right here, right? And if price wanted to continue to the downside, if I think if price wanted to continue to the downside, then this move right here, taking out this previous high, wouldn't have happened, right? I think that price would have respected this key level right here, key level right here, this key level right here, that's area of mitigation. And price would have just kind of came up to here and then kind of dropped to this downside. And so I do see price maybe retesting this low area right here, maybe one more time, but I do definitely see price, getting up to this area up here, and continuing to make that formation, right? And so, like I said earlier, I need price to get above this area and close. Like, to be specific, like I need it to be above here. So let me go ahead and get my array so you guys can really see what I'm talking about. Scoot this over. So like, all right, perfect. So right there is where price is at. So I need to see price get above there and close, right? That's healthy. I need that. And so what I'm looking at right now is get my path tool. Price went up here. So this was a high. This was a high, right? We're looking at it from a downtrending perspective. So let me go ahead and just take that out. Delete that. So downtrending perspective, right? I want y'all to notice this, that as price is coming down, this is a high, and it creates a lower high, then it creates a lower low, then it creates a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Those specific ones that we pointed out, when price then on the other side breaks above those, that's a sole confirmation that price is changing trends, right? Now that one confirmation isn't enough. I like to have multiple confirmations to fully engage into creating a position for myself to make some profit. But that's one thing I really look at, and that's something I take into very high consideration. Like for me personally, like I'll have like my some indicators, right? Like a Bollinger Band I used to use, or the RSI, or I really just use key levels, bank numbers. I don't really use the fibs too much, but just stating those are one confirmation tools that I'll use. Like I need multiples of those, whereas simply price breaking past previous highs to change trend, that's such a impactful thing in my technical analysis that I almost categorize that as two confirmations, because that's a very significant move that price is making to confirm what I think it's overall going to do, whether it be an uptrend or downtrend. So in this case, the uptrend. So now seeing that this was a previous key level, the fact that price broke past that once was a previous high, and then price retested it there, and then got enough momentum to create this next higher high that was higher than the previous, another confirmation, right? So I like to look at it as like possible, like you like taking steps, right? So take that key level area right there, this key level area right here, and then this one down here, oops, and then like this one right here, right? So we can see that this higher low, right? And then these highs that are being created, starting with this one, this high, and so the next how we're looking at. So if you wanted to get into the trade and potentially make some money off of that move, you would want to look at it like this, and I'll make this one green so you can see like that would be like my TP, right? So like from here to here, right here to here, right? TP, I take profit. And so that would be a move that I would see happen from like today to like maybe like Tuesday morning, right? But yeah, that's what I got for EURCAD, guys. And we look at the 1 hour and we can kind of like really see what these candles are doing. For those that want some more like free advice, go ahead and download the JCP, the Japanese Candlestick Pattern app, and that's helped me very much so like learn so much intricacies of the candlestick patterns and how to like read them and to gauge how they're moving and to almost give me signs, right, as to what the market's going to do. And so like for an example, let me use this as an important thing. I want y'all to really feel me on this one. So sometimes like we like to make these like key levels, like prices are gonna get past here, right? It's gonna shoot up here, and then like this gonna be like my stop loss if I like if price is right here, I'm gonna buy, right? And this is my stop loss. Like no, guys, right? So like price loves to really retest potential areas where people will have a stop loss. So you got to have a very low stop loss within reason, right? Because you don't want to potentially lose some money. So if your stop loss is very long, then just have a lower lot size, right? Just just leverage less, and so you don't lose as much. And then you're in a good position. And once you're in a good position, and let's say you have like a 25-cent lot, you're up like 50, 60 bucks, then go ahead on this next move. So like, let's say you put in like, 25-cent lot, like anywhere in this area or whatever, and this is like your stop loss, or your stop loss is way down here, right? So like, it comes down here, you're in drawdown, right? Now if it comes up, starts coming up here, all right, you're in a little bit of profit. Once it gets up to here, you're in profit, more profit. And then once you know that this next area that price could possibly come down to, like where price broke past this, right? Like a little bit to here. So like when this area, like, so like for example, like my stop loss will be down here, right? This will be my stop loss down here, right? Because I know that price will get to probably this area, but it won't get down back to this area because it still has to create the higher high formation. It has to create the higher low formation, right? So once you know that price is up at this point, now I'm gonna move my stop loss from here to here. So it's almost even in profit. And so when I move my stop loss like that, and then now I'm looking at, all right, so it's when it drops down to like this area here, it's not gonna get past this area because I still have to keep that formation. So like for an example, like stop loss will be down here, enter up here. And then so as it's starting to go up, I'm gonna make this particular trade a little more, right? So it might be like a 50-cent lot because I know that the profit that I'm in is equivocating for the drawdown that I potentially might be in because of that 50-cent lot that I just placed. And so just that understanding of how to gauge it, so you're not like in drawdown too much, you have proper risk management, because all those things are important, right? Like the thing about trading is like you will always make money in this market, like no matter who you are. Like everyone has the potential to make money in this market, but the real cheat code, like the real skill, is to not lose it, right? You can make it, but just don't lose it. So once you make good money, take it out, have a good day, and then reevaluate, and then come back to it later. But don't make $100 and then think, oh, I'm about to flip that to 300. You're gonna lose it and some more, right? So trade, and analyze, have your technicals, your fundamentals, whatever works for you. Trade, have your position in, make 20, 30, 50 pips that works for you, and you're smiling at your phone. Take your profit, analyze again, put another position in when time comes, when it's when time asks for it, and then make another profit, right? It's all about timing, patience, and just gauging your risk management to the best of your ability. And so yeah, that's really what I got for EURCAD today.
That's great advice, Cam. I think you and I have both been in that scenario where we made a bag and then lost a bag due to
Yeah.
greed.
That's funny.
Plenty of times, but yeah, no, great stuff. I love the breakdown of the analysis from top to bottom as far as time frame is concerned. So that was really awesome. I'm sure the viewers who watch this on the page will definitely get some value out of what you just shared.
Love
So
it.
thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, guys, so that's pretty much what we're looking at for the week. Again, just to recap, the course is going to be for free. It's in the description at the bottom of this video. So go ahead and click that link and join. After you finish watching the videos, we look forward to seeing you inside of the Discord chat where we can help you do any type of tweaking and adjusting to whatever your in particular strategy is, because at the end of the day, our goal is not to change your strategy and replace it with ours. Our goal is to help you find what works best for you, because everyone perceives the market in a different way. So it's very important, like when you come into our course, understand that we are not here to try and change the way that you perceive the market in total. We're just here to help give you a different perspective in a way to where you can really fine tune who you are as a trader. So thank you guys again for watching the video. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And we really appreciate you jumping in here and just taking in the value that we just enjoy sharing with you guys. So until next time, you have anything else to add, Cam?
I just hope that anyone that sees this video really gets a lot of value from it. That's really it. Like just keep at it, guys. Whatever you do in life, just keep at it. Everything's a process.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, be a monster in the garden. Go get yours. See you in the next video.
All right.